Hello guys, welcome to Sim UK. This is Pure Farming 2018, a game that came out on the 13th of March 2018. On release day, I made a video that I threw together very quickly after playing just under 2 hours of gameplay. Now that video, that review, has split people on YouTube right down the middle. It's almost 50-50, which is interesting because if you look at the reviews on Steam, they are also 50-50. Now, the majority of people who disagree with my original review felt very strongly that 2 hours wasn't enough to get a full grasp of this game and give it a fair crack of the whip and a decent review. Well, I did point out in that review that it was a very quick thrown together review. It didn't take me long to realise that this game wasn't for me. There are so many controller issues for a start and limitations and important things that just don't exist in the game that I knew immediately that this game wasn't for me. But because you guys have been harassing me so much, I've decided to give this game a fair crack of the whip. So here I am. I'm going to take on the challenges. I'm going to see what's good and what's bad about the game, and then I'm going to collate a very in-depth review which will either prove that I'm right or confirm that you're wrong. So let's find out what the situation is here. Okay, so first up is we're going to do the Montana challenge, and then we'll do Colombia, Italy, Japan. We'll just work our way through, basically. Sunny harvest in Montana. Time limit is 26 hours. It's harvest time in our American state. Unfortunately, this year it hasn't been possible to find the right employees, so you're facing the ambitious task of completing the harvest all by yourself. Make the best use you can of your machines and perform the task effectively and as quickly as possible. If you fail, you will lose some of your harvest. Requirements to finish the scenario. Harvest at least 60% of the wheat from each of the 4 fields. Put 1,500 kilograms of wheat in the silo. Optional tasks to finish the scenario. 95% of the wheat from each of the 4 fields and 30,000 kilograms of wheat in the silo. Okay. Challenge description. We will have a Zeta Forterra 150 HD tractor, a Metaltech D88 DB. Oh my gosh, a Metaltech DB 8000 trailer, a Gomzel Mash. Oh my word, a Gomzel Mash Palais GS575 combine and header. Hopefully I can play it better than I can read it. My goodness me, what is wrong with me today? Right, okay, so we're going to start at home, which is quite reasonable, I suppose. And it looks like this is field number 1. Let's just take the drone up. How do I do the drone? I can never remember this. Activate the drone, okay. Okay, so this is field number 1, or rather it's field number 3, but it's the first one we're going to be working on. Looks like we got some indicators over here. And this is field number 4. And finally we have oh yes, field number 1 and field number 2. Okay then, let's get going. Now, does this have an attachment? Can I drag that behind me, I wonder? I doubt it. I doubt we can. And where's the header? Oh, I see it. There's the header. Okay. Well, no time to waste. Let's crack on. Left button to attach the front header. And away we go. I think it makes good sense to start with field 1. Obviously that building there is where we're going to drop it off. The silos. You can see strewn about are half-started buildings that we can purchase and build. Unfortunately you can't pick where they go. They are pre-dictated on the map, which is a bit of an unfortunate limitation, but there you go. Is this square? I think it might be square, this one. Alright, now we're in a rush, so I'm not going to do a perfect job of this. I'm just going to literally just have a go, because we only need 95% of each field to pass, so that's my motivation here. How do I start this thing? I can't remember. Let's... Pretty sure I just did that anyway. Turn the harvester on. There we go. And we are harvesting. And one thing I do like that I didn't get to mention in my first review was all these sort of particles that come flying up. I mean, these are the things that give me terrible hay fever in the real world, but they are pretty awesome. It is a nice feature to have. So don't be critical of my harvesting technique. I'm just in a rush. I don't really care how well I do. I just want to get as much as I can. 95% is my target. If I leave 5% but I do it twice as quick, then that's a win. Speed is the priority here, and you can see in the bottom right hand corner that we're filling up really rather quickly. We're about 50% done already, so yeah, we're gonna have to empty this out quite often. I do wish now that I was going the other way round so that the pipe could open out. Oh, actually I say that, I was going to say so it opens out off the crops, but there is no crop destruction, so it doesn't matter. It's not important. Hopefully one day there will be crop destruction. That would be good, especially if the modding community have anything to say about it. I'm sure there will be. Oh, I completely misread that corner. So I do think the zoom needs to be a bit further out. I just feel a little bit too close. In all honesty, if I were to play this seriously, then I wouldn't be outside of the cockpit anyway, or the cab. I would be constantly in the cab. Okay, so we're full, which means we need to bring this little tractor here. Now, I'm not a controller player. I don't play with a controller in farming simulation games, so I'm a bit ham-fisted when it comes to steering. Whoa, and button pressing by the looks of things. Okay, groovy. So the beacons automatically go on. Kind of wish that they didn't, but they do. And they don't look great, do they? Look a bit like blancmange. I'm sure they'll look better at night, but anyway. Whoa! I did say I was a bit ham-fisted with the controls. I do apologise. I'm getting used to playing with the controller as I'm playing with the controller, so... Now, will that automatically open out? Doesn't look like it will. No. This is my worst thing with the controller, is backing a trailer up. I just cannot do it at all. So it looks like we're going to have to do it manually, which I like. Oops. Right, how do we get the pipe out? Nope. There we go. Splendid. Although I do have to admit that if I was going the opposite way round, if I was going clockwise instead of anti-clockwise, then I wouldn't have to move the tractor after offloading the contents. Oh, you can't jump out the tractor whilst it's still moving, which is a good thing, I suppose. Technically that is a good thing. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold that back in. We're going to drive up this end and then we're going to start going round the other way. Turn the harvesting mechanism on. Lower it. I don't remember raising it, to be honest with you, but okay. Is that working? No, I've done something wrong there. What have I not done? Work. What's the difference between work and turning it on? I don't fully understand that. Isn't that the same thing, but you're forcing me an extra button press? That's how it feels, I've got to say. Right, this is much better. We're going the right way round now. Let's do a bit of inside driving. It's very clean and neat inside, I have to say. Damn it, I've got that corner wrong again. Trying to get a nice round shape. Failing a bit to achieve that. That's better. Not perfect by any means, but better. Now, although I think the audio in this game is pretty good, one thing I have to point out is that it does lack some of those authentic micro noises that you hear inside a tractor. Now, I have never driven a tractor, so I'm basing this on YouTube videos that I've watched of other people driving tractors, but there are sort of bumps and squeaks and knocks and bangs and all sorts of noises that you also hear. And none of that is present here. It's very clean in terms of audio, or another way of putting it would be limited. But I don't want to be wholly negative about this game, even though that's how I feel about it, in all honesty. So yeah, I mean, it looks okay, doesn't it? It's quite pleasing to the eye. The stuff off in the distance is blurry. That building there looks like it's been superimposed on top of it. I'm trying to be positive, I really am. That's maybe it's just my own personal disposition. Oh, looks like we're done. Let's use the cheat. Bit of in-cab driving, always good. No crop destruction, so we'll just drive straight through the middle of it and not even care. Should have put the pipe out, shouldn't I, really? Didn't think of that. Alright. So we'll stop round about there. I might be too far out, actually. Come on, let me in. Now, can I fold the pipe out? There we go. Like a glove. I think that's full. Yeah, it's full. The container has to be emptied. Okay. I do hate that I have to turn this on every time I get back in it. I do find that most irritating, I have to say. I didn't turn it off because I don't want to have to press another 20 buttons in order to get it going again. I do find that quite irritating. And sort of anti-realistic as well. Right, now because there's a bit of a sticky out bit there, I deliberately went wide to try and make it a bit rounder. I got this corner here, this corner's perfect, but the others are just a bit too square. I'll give it its due though, the ability to precisely corner or turn the wheel a small amount seems pretty good. Seems to work rather well. Getting a bit too sharp a corner there. I want to do a much more round shape like this. That's better, but not great. Remember, 95% is the target. Speed is the goal. See, this corner's perfect. I catch absolutely every bit of wheat as a result, and I don't have to slow down or do anything clever in order to achieve that. This one, not so much. This one I kind of ruined a bit. Learning as we're playing, guys, learning as we're playing. That's a better corner there. Quite smooth, quite gentle, quite easy to take. I can always come back and nick these corner bits later on, that's not a problem. Looks like we're about to be full again. There we go. So let's just back up a bit. Swap to the tractor. Go and drop this stuff off. Okay, how do we empty this? I can't remember. I have done this once before. I might not be in the right position, I think. Drop. Oh, there we go. Oh, right on the limit, look. Just move forward a tad. Okay, good. Back out to the harvester. Fill up again. I've got to say, one of the things I actually genuinely do like about this game is the irrigation systems that they have in place. I think that's pretty cool. And obviously the ability to have a vineyard as well as an apple orchard or whatever. All very good things, all very good things. It's not the worst game in the world. Don't think that that's what I think. Okay. Jump in. That one, unfold. That was a funny noise. That was a weird noise. Okay, turn it on again. Start working. Drop it down, and away we go. Zoom out, please. God, it's actually really difficult to do this from the outside camera. I'm definitely more comfortable in the cab. So 10% more and we're away. 10% more of this and we'll be on to field number 2. Took that bit wide. I'd be interested to see actually how challenging this is going to be, because obviously 95% is quite considerably more than 60%. We'd have done 60% a long time before now. What I think I'll do is I'll take it down to 4%. And that absolutely, unequivocally, 100% guarantees that we've got at least 95%. If the statistics show that we've taken 96%, that is definitely more than 95%. So we should get a fully completed 100% success if we do that. So that's the plan. Getting pretty tight now. It's almost a continuous circle. In fact, it is going to be a continuous circle from here on in, I think. 8%. 7%. Bit annoying, isn't it? Of all the times to do that. That should be totally full. Yes, it is. We'll just back her up. Turn the harvester back on. I've noticed also, I don't think you can... see, now it says stop working. It says stop working. Have you noticed that? So it seems to think that we are working, but actually we're not. Turn the harvesting mechanism on. Oh, I must have turned it off by accident, I suppose. Okay, that was me that time. Right, what are we looking for here? We're at 6%. So let's just back it up. And almost completely just go down the middle of it. Or the side of it, whatever. We got a little confirmation there to suggest that we have got 95%, which is obviously our target. But I'm going to do just a little bit more, just to be sure, just so there's no question. There we go, 4%. Right. Turn that off. Lift it up. Stop working. Let's go. Whoops. Head over to field number 2, where we'll do basically the same thing, except this time I'll go clockwise instead of anti-clockwise. And away we go. No messing about. Again, 95% is our target. It is a bit glitchy, this game. It does tend to glitch out quite a lot. I'm not sure if it's perhaps when the game is auto-saving. I don't know if it does auto-save, to be fair. But it seems to happen regularly, which makes me think that maybe it's when it's auto-saving. Again, the game's very new, and you know, the dev team have to be given a chance to fix these issues before you completely condemn the game. And that's not what I'm doing. At no point have I completely condemned this game. I merely only said that there's no point in buying it right now, because the state it's in at the moment, it's not going to be that fun. Oh, well, no, I take that back actually. I mean, it is fun. Farming is fun. But I'd much rather be sat here with a steering wheel in my hand rather than a controller. I just feel detached. I don't feel like I'm really farming, if that makes sense. That's my issue. Not everybody's going to feel that way, and especially if you're on console, then you're probably not in any way bothered by the things that bother me. That's a fair point. But I'm not making a review for a console. I don't play on console, so that's also a fair point. Right, let's go to the tractor. And we need to go drop this stuff off. Completely lost where I am. Where am I? Hear the trailer banging in the background. I quite liked that audio when I first played this game. I think it's one of the only positive things I said about it, but yeah, listening to it now, it's not that brilliant. It's just one sound file repeated over and over again, in all honesty. If we look at the suspension, actually that's probably not the best place to do it because it's not very bumpy, but you can see there are physics. Oh Christ. There are physics, there is suspension, kind of. It does exist. To a point. Right, now I need to remember how to do this again. R1Y. And away we go.